afternoon and welcome to day 3 of National School Lunch Week. I'm Jessica Shelley, Student Dining Services Director of Cincinnati Public Schools, and we are back at the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Gardens. This time we are in the primate habitat. We're today going to be exploring what Colobus monkeys eat for their lunch. And there's a lot they have in common with what we have in our school lunch. Every day at CPS we offer a full vegetable salad bar for you guys to choose from. And I'm going to bet these primates also enjoy some really delicious vegetables. Joining me today is Victoria. She is the zoological manager of primates, and she's going to help talk to us about some of the things these Colobus monkeys love to eat at lunchtime. Victoria, can you tell us what we have here for lunch today?
Yes, of course. So right now we have a big mix of different things that our Colobus monkeys like to eat. So one of their favorite items that you'll see tucked into these different enrichment devices is romaine lettuce, and that's something that they get a lot throughout their week. They'll also get a lot of different types of browse. And browse is these big branches with a lot of leaves on it throughout their habitat. Today it looks like they have some honeysuckle. And then in addition to that, they also have, you might see a brown or a red biscuit. That is a nutritionally complete item that we give them just to kind of round out all of their food and make sure they're getting all the healthy vitamins that they need. Lettuce is one of their favorite things, and romaine is the type of lettuce they're getting today. But we'll actually mix it up and they'll get different types of lettuce throughout the week.
And romaine lettuce is so high in fiber and minerals and calcium. It's so good for you, and so it's how does it help them stay healthy?
It meets the same needs for them as it does for us. So it's really important to map out those nutrition factors for them and make sure they're getting everything they need. We actually have a nutritionist here at the zoo that keeps track of everything and maps out their diets based on the nutritional values that they need.
It's so cool because romaine lettuce is actually one of the 10 powerhouse foods that really help fuel our bodies and obviously helps fuel primate bodies as well.
Exactly.
And what's really interesting is that your romaine lettuce comes from the same farms that our romaine lettuce come from.
Mm-hmm.
It's National Farm to School Month right now, and we actually get a lot of our romaine lettuce from a farm called 80 Acres right here in Southwest Ohio. So we're supporting our local farmers through not only our school lunches, but the zoo lunches as well.
Exactly. It's a wonderful resource. We always make sure our food items are the same quality that you would find at the grocery store. So that's why we find the same providers that we like to use, and building those local partnerships and resources is very helpful.
Well, this has been great, Victoria, but I bet these Colobus monkeys are hungry. Can we invite them out to lunch?
Yes, we can. So this is our Colobus family troop. Right now we have a little munchkin, Tina. She is 5 months old and she's hanging out on her mom, Anza, right now. She's the youngest in the troop and she was born this last May. She has an older sister named Phoebe who's a year old. Phoebe is to the leftmost area of the habitat right now. And she's also hanging out in this space with her older brothers as well as her father.
So, Victoria, are all primates vegetarians, or do they eat meat?
Not all primates are vegetarians. Colobus, for example, they eat mostly nice leafy greens, different types of vegetation, as well as a lot of vegetables, but not all primates are the same. So, for example, there are some monkeys that will actually dive into water and swim, and they will actually hunt and fish for crabs and eat crab, which is very interesting. We also have primates like chimpanzees that are known to hunt other animals, and they will actually eat meat too. But it really depends on the particular niche that they fill in their environment. So Colobus are one of the vegetarian types of primates.
So I know there's so many plants out there in the wild, so how do they know if a plant is poisonous or not? And if they would eat a poisonous plant, would it hurt them?
That is a really good question. So Colobus are a little special. They have a stomach that can actually ferment due to microbiome that will allow them to eat a certain level of toxicity without any bad side effects to them. But there's different levels of toxic plants, and they still know to avoid stuff that would be too toxic and cause them to feel unwell. Now, one of the ways that they do this is by learning. Primates have a really long childhood in respect to other mammals, and that's to help them learn all the things they need to be an adult monkey. So that involves learning social behaviors within the group, but also different types of things like knowing which plants are safe to eat and which plants are not safe to eat. So that's why it's really important for the little kiddos in the group to spend a lot of time with mom and their troop members, because that really helps them learn what's okay and what's not okay. And if it's not something they've learned from mom or seen another monkey eat, a lot of times they'll avoid it, even if it's not necessarily toxic. They don't know that it's not toxic, so you'll see them avoiding that type of plant.
So one of the favorite things on our school lunch for our students is fruit. They love our different fruits that we offer. Do primates like fruit too, or are they just mostly vegetables?
So our primates, it kind of varies. So a lot more fruit is in certain types of primate diets. It depends really on what they would be getting in the wild. So in the wild, if it's a primate that incorporates a lot of fruit in their day-to-day diet, they're gonna get that fruit here as well. Colobus, in contrast, they eat a lot of different leafy types of greens and vegetables. So their diet is pretty low on fruit, but that's really just mimicking what they're getting in the wild, and our nutritionist here helps us figure all of those logistics out so that we're making sure each animal is getting the type of food that they need to be healthy and happy.
So I have a question actually coming in from John P. Parker Elementary. Miss Lukumida's second grade class has asked, do primates swim? Because I'm seeing in their habitat here is lots of trees, but no water. So can primates swim?
That's a really good question. So most primates are going to be very arboreal, which means they hang out a lot in the trees. That's where they're going to spend all their time foraging, relaxing, sleeping, all of that fun stuff that makes up a monkey's day. Some primates are more terrestrial, which means they like to hang out down on the ground more. So a lot of baboon species are like that. You'll see them hanging out primarily at lower levels of a forest or a savanna. And then a few species of primates will actually dive into water and be able to swim to fish for crab. So that's not the most common thing. It's actually really only seen in a macaque species in Southeast Asia, but it does happen. It just depends on what they've learned from their other troop members and the type of resources they have access to in their natural environment.
They are really loving this romaine. Are there other animals at the zoo that also get fed romaine lettuce?
Yes, there are. Romaine is a really common item because it's so healthy and popular among everybody. Almost all of the animals here that eat vegetation get romaine lettuce. So an example of that would be some of our birds on our big lake area that you see as you're coming into the zoo. They'll get romaine, and it is a complete field day. They get very excited about it, and you'll see the birds all swarm those big leafy lettuce trees.
So I gotta ask, because I know a lot of things we learned about in science classes, animals actually adapt and camouflage to their surroundings. But these monkeys are black and white, and if they're hanging out in a green forest, how do they protect themselves from their predators?
That's a really good question. So there's different types of coloration patterns amongst primates. This is a black and white species of Colobus. There's actually different color variations even within just the Colobus genus of primates. But the black and white coloration, when they're all hanging out together in a big troop, they kind of blend in all together. And if you think about looking up through the trees, when there's a lot of sunlight coming through, a lot of times you're looking at a different perspective due to the light, and so the black and white actually blends in quite a bit better with those shadows and light spots of illumination. Now within the troop, Tina over here, our littlest one, she was born in all white color. That helps mark her as different as an infant, so the rest of the troop can easily spot the infant out from all the other troop members. But as you can see, she's already developed that black and white coloration. That black color only came in a couple of months ago, and it's still kind of filling out. So she's getting more of that adult color on her. But when she was born, she was actually completely white.
And I love that she's already eating all of her vegetables. She's getting all those healthy minerals and vitamins that she needs to grow up big and strong, like her rest of her pack. And joining us also today is Taya Richard, who again is our student from Zoo Academy, and we're so happy to have you here. And I'd love to ask you some questions about Zoo Academy.
Sure.
So how did you decide to go to Zoo Academy?
When I was a little kid, I actually wanted to be a zoologist. I was obsessed with animals. So when I was in 6th grade and we learned about Houston and their Zoo Academy, I said, that's my pick, that's where I'm going. And I've been here since.
So talk to us about Zoo Academy. What does your day look like at Zoo Academy?
We have normal classes, but we also get to do a lot like labs where we actually get to help the zookeepers and be right beside them, help with their animals, feed out, clean. And we also, for some lessons, we'll be able to go throughout the zoo. We'll be able to get some behind the scenes, and we actually get a lot of different assignments that you won't get in the average high school. I'm actually currently getting my vet tech certification.
You're getting your vet tech certification. So when you graduate from Zoo Academy, you'll actually you'll be a registered veterinarian technician?
I'll be able to apply for jobs for veterinary technician.
That's amazing. So what kind of habitats have you had the opportunity to work at here at the zoo?
I have currently been in the birdhouse. I have been in education, helping them plan lessons for our zoo troops. And I have been in commissary, actually delivering the food that goes to our habitats and our animals.
So you actually worked with the nutritionist that Victoria was talking about earlier, and so you have a really great sense of what all of our animals here at the zoo have had for good nutrition.
Pretty much, yeah.
So what advice would you give to a 5th or 6th grader possibly considering Zoo Academy?
If it's something that you like or something that you believe in, just go for it. If you like to have fun, if you like to be around animals, this is the place for you.
That is such great information. We're so glad you've had such a great opportunity here at Cincinnati Zoo. Thank you so much, Taylor. Victoria, I think we're about ready to wrap it up because they look like they've already had a great lunch. Do they ever clean up after themselves after lunchtime? Because I know that our cafeterias don't look like this after school lunch, but...
No, they do not. So unfortunately, we like to consider it as job security for our zookeeper staff. So animals are very messy. They don't know how to clean up after themselves. So our keeper staff has to come in, clean the habitat, and make sure it's safe and healthy for them every single day, which is pretty wonderful. But it makes me glad that we're not monkeys, because that would be very difficult to have to do if we didn't clean up after ourselves.
So thank you so much, Victoria, for spending so much time with us today talking about these amazing primates and all the great food that you feed them here at Cincinnati Zoo to keep them healthy. And thank you, Taya, for showing us how great Zoo Academy can be, this experience here for a Cincinnati Public Schools student. Everyone else, I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow when we're going to be meeting an internet sensation here at Cincinnati Zoo. Can you guess who we might be seeing tomorrow? See you then.